Hey friends, I'm Dustin. You're watching the Life of Lynn channel, and today I'm reviewing the best worst car that I think we've ever had. This is the 1999 Ford Explorer Sport, 2-door, 5-speed with the 4-liter, and they're awful. They're a horrible car. And I would have cleaned her up, but honestly, it's a 20-year-old Explorer. I think this looks good this way. You probably don't want to see one of these clean. As always, sorry for the wind. As you know, up on the high plains, the wind always blows, and I can't get away from it. This particular Explorer we picked up from the salvage auctions for incredibly cheap, and it's actually one of the lower mileage vehicles that I've picked up in the last year or so. It only had like 123,000 on it. I know that's not really low mileage, but probably especially for a Ford Explorer, I think most of these either rolled over or exploded by 100,000 miles. So it's rare to see one of these, and the condition's actually not that bad. It runs pretty good. The body's straight on it. You know, it's hard to tell, but it is actually pretty straight. You know, a couple scuffs, that's why I was at the salvage auction. You know, the bumper was scuffed, so it's, you know, salvage, they had to get rid of it. Yeah, a little crack there. Now, we all know Ford Explorers are kind of a joke, especially with the whole debacle with the Firestone tire things and all the lawsuits with Ford and them back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Apparently, they like to roll over. Well, they're really narrow. It's not a lot of width to this car, and if the tires were underinflated, it made them very spongy and very easy to roll with even the slightest of an abrupt maneuver. So that was really the big issue with these. Reliability wise, they weren't very good either. Automatic transmissions had a lot of problems, but we were in luck because this one, there's a reason why it's made it this long. Got us a man's mission in here. Typical Ford ding, I hate them all. Even the new ones, those are awful. But this thing is a gem and we love it. So despite all the normal Ford issues, this particular unit has been pretty fantastic actually. Yes, the 4-liter is gutless and doesn't get very good gas mileage for how little power it has, but the 4-wheel drive works well. The 5-speed transmission works fairly well. I need to bleed the clutch. It's either got a pinhole leak or some kind of issue where it's been getting spongy as the weather has been getting colder, and it's become hard to shift in the last few days, so we need to bleed the clutch and hopefully fix that problem. We do have a couple of the typical Ford problems. Rust. I don't know why these things rust out even in non-salty areas. We don't salt the roads here, but pretty much all of these rust right underneath the doors. This thing is for my rust-free state, so it's kind of, I don't know why it's rusting there, but typical Ford Explorer things. The front end has been rebuilt. That was one of the other reasons why I was at the salvage yard. Something had broken the steering knuckle on it, so I replaced that, which is quite expensive. $300 for one part on a car that only costs $800. I think there's a reason why a lot of these end up in the junkyard. But we went ahead and saved this one with the mileage and everything else, and the fact that the engine was running really good, not leaking. We decided it was worth keeping. Now let's check out the interior, which is also dirty, so enjoy. This is the way a Ford Explorer is supposed to be. You don't clean up Ford Explorers. We've never even detailed this since we bought it. Oh yeah, and the Ford key thing with the, you gotta push to bring it back. I don't know why they did that. Probably a reason or another somewhere. Look at this glorious interior. Bucket seats, cloth of course, you know, mechanical. Slide it forward, and you got the back seats. Those fold down. That gives you a couple feet back there where you can you know, put a box or something. This one's got the upgraded sound, you know, little thumpy thumps for the back here. Not a lot of room. Oh yeah, this is a great feature. So the mechanical seats don't have any way to figure out where they used to be. So if you go to push this back, it just locks in the straight up, straight forward position. So then you gotta push your seat back for us long-legged folk. And then of course the back's all messed up again, so time to push that back. But look, your seat's all in. For some reason, they didn't figure out how to put the switches side by side up here. They thought it'd be better to put them on top and on bottom. So this is actually your driver window, left side on the top. And your passenger window is this bottom one. This doesn't make any sense to me. It looks like there's probably plenty of room to put a switch on the left and the right up here. But what do I know? Door panels, these always fall apart. You can just, I don't know why that doesn't stay under there like it's supposed to, but 20 years of hot and cold, just. You'll also notice the very high quality Ford plastics everywhere. We've got gappage, you know, there's panel gaps, there's different colors. I don't think some of these are supposed to be different colors. Like these are two different grays up here. I don't know. But hey, solid rig. Let's take a full tour of the outside now. Alloy wheels. Under the hood, we have our 4-liter V6 power plant. It's in pretty good shape. Someone did plugs and wires, it looks like. Wired for life, trademark. Huh. Looks nice. Yeah, this thing really doesn't have any mechanical issues other than that clutch. Let's fire it up and go take it for a drive out here. Maybe even test out the 4-wheel drive somewhere on these flat roads. She's got a few miles on her now. We actually daily drive this thing. This is actually Kim's preferred work rig, which I can see why. It's actually kind of fun. With the manual transmission, you got at least a little bit of power there when you shift from first to second. Oh God! Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. We'll just drive through this clearly marked road out here. Crazy repairs on one of these, it is worth picking an old one up, and you can mob this thing around as a daily, point A to B, or you know, put some bigger wheels and tires on it, make it a little weekend off-road rig. I believe they call that like an overland type thing. You put some 32-inch tires on it and roof rack, and it could be a nice little camping rig. Because it's really small, it's easy to get back places. They don't cost very much. You can pick up a used Ford Explorer for 500 bucks, I kid you not, and it probably runs and drives fine. Try to find some with the manual transmission. The automatics are going to be junk, and then you end up having to put a $1,200 transmission in a $500 car. It doesn't make sense. That's why a lot of these are at the junkyard. But, you know, if you get one with the manual transmission and you take care of it, there's no reason that these things won't go forever. The 4-liter is actually a pretty decent little V6. Like I said, not a lot of power, not a lot of fuel efficiency, but then again, it didn't have the power to hurt itself. So regular oil changes and these things would pretty much go forever. And yeah, other than that, there's not a lot of other big expenses. So like I said, stick to the manual transmission. You'll be happy with that. Interesting to note, this has automatic 4-wheel drive, and then 4 high and 4 low. So it is a selectable transfer case, but it doesn't have just 2-wheel drive all the time. It's weird. If the vehicle detects wheel speed change, so tire spin, it bangs itself into 4-wheel drive. really feel that's bad, especially if you drive like I do, which is foot to the floor all the time. I guess I wanted to keep these things from sliding sideways, because being so short, they get a little squirrely if you're in two-wheel drive. So Ford solved that problem by just banging the transfer case into four-wheel drive if it detects wheel slip. I don't really care for that. I'm sure there's a way to disable that, but yeah, it does work. I'm just worried about premature failure of parts being slammed together under pressure, because it doesn't cut power or anything like a modern vehicle does with traction control, how it cuts back. This is, I believe this has a mechanical throttle body that's actually controlled by a cable, so it's not controlled by a motor or an actuator. And with that, you'll end up with this thing, you got your foot buried in the throttle, and it slips on a piece of ice, it'll just, bam, slam it into four-wheel drive while you're under full throttle, and I really think that's a bad idea. So, a couple of weird quirks about this thing. Other than the fact that they were built pretty cheap, and those couple things, I do like it quite a bit. It is fun to drive, unless it's windy outside, and you get a lot of vehicle for your money. I mean, she's pretty stout off-road, you know? I mean, this ain't gonna go on some crazy rock climbing adventure, but on a nice little Jeep road to kind of get away from all the city folk, she'll do her. She'll do her, guys. And then with that, you know, you can just leave it in 4-low and go for days. All right, we've got to find a challenge for this thing. Try out the 4WD. Yeah, that looks horrible. That's a pile of turds. We don't want that. There's a dirt pile over here. That looks like a bad idea. We should probably do that. All right, we're in neutral, so we're gonna go to four-wheel drive low. Like a mountain goat, just right up it. Wow, impressive. With ease. Ignore that. Perfect. As you can see, it's short, stubby chassis and narrow width make it a little mountain goat. Even its lack of big tires and power make it pretty easy to climb around. It's pretty amazing, really. It's a wonderful ride, and we love it. And we'll be taking it to the mountains soon. Plus, it matches Bob here. Bob's our homemade micro camper. If you guys haven't seen that, subscribe to the channel. Go check out the older videos. I have a video or two on Bob. It's really cool. And that is that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed my 99 Ford Explorer Sport review. I know I did. God bless you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.